In this video, let's talk about how to draw the lowest structure of hydrogen sulfide, a really toxic molecule, right? But how would we draw the lowest structure of hydrogen sulfide? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is write the atoms that I have and the count, like so how many of them I have. Then at this point, you're in your periodic table at this point in general chemistry should be your best friend, right? So we know that anything within oxygen's column should give me 6 valence electrons, right? Anything in fluorine's column should give me 7, and etc. So in this case, we know that sulfur is oxygen's cousin, so this will give me sulfur would have 6 valence electrons. Hydrogen, we know it's all the way in the first column of the periodic table, and everything in that row gives me 1 valence electron, right? So if you don't know how we've come up with this number, I've made several videos on the channel that kind of explain how we come up with the number of valence electrons. So at this point, I'm going to count the total number of electrons that I have to place. So in this case, it becomes 6 valence electrons from sulfur, but we have 2 hydrogens, so this will essentially be 2 times 1, which would be 2, so this becomes 6 plus 2, which gives me 8 total electrons that I have to place, right? So at this point, usually the atoms that's furthest to the left, or the first in the molecular formula, is the atom that goes in that's the atom that we place as a central atom. But in this case, hydrogen will never be a central atom, right? So just get that out your head. Hydrogen will never be a central atom. So in this case, the only other option would be your sulfur. Now at this point, I could actually just place my 2 hydrogens around sulfur, right? Another way of writing the formula, which typically it's not incorrect, but it's not the correct it's not the convention, right? You could also write it as SH2, but no, right? No one really does this. That's not how you write the formula, right? It's just H2S, so hydrogen sulfide. So we have a total of 8 valence electrons to place, right? So the only thing I'm going to do right now is to form some single bonds, right? That's the simplest bond I could form. I'm using the least amount of electrons. So in all my covalent Lewis structures, I'm always going to start with my single bonds. Now in this case, the single bond is consisted of 2 electrons, so this becomes 2, 4. So we've used 4 total electrons out of the 8 that we have to place. That means we're deficient in 4. So we need to place 4 more. Now, hydrogen can only form 1 bond. It has 1 valence electron. So that means we cannot place any more electrons on the hydrogen. So the only other place that we could place these 4 remaining electrons has to be on the sulfur. And so I would have to do it in the pairs of lone pairs, right? And so this becomes 2, 4, 6, 8. And sulfur is happy. Its valence, its octet is full. Hydrogen is happy. And the amount of electrons that we've counted matches how much we've counted in the initial place, right? So the amount of electrons that we've placed in the formula matches how much we've counted in the initial stages.